Hi everyone, I'm Tally, this is Farrell, and we are bored of it. And welcome to our top 10 most played games of 2023. So if you are regular to our channel, you maybe saw that a month or two ago we put out a video that was our most played games as of November 2023, but that's our most played games kind of since our records began, which is around when we started our channel. So over a much longer period. And this video, we're going to focus on only the calendar year of 2023. And the list is pretty different to that one.
Yes, and I think actually it's a really, if I do say so myself, interesting list. I think it'll be fun to talk about and to share. And actually, you're going into this blind because you haven't seen it.
I don't monitor the records now. You're the record keeper, so
I think
it's interesting.
You'll find this quite fun.
Yep.
And before we get to that top 10, let's just very briefly have honourable mentions. So originally, I pulled these games kind of just before Christmas as I had some free time. And obviously I monitored them over Christmas. And originally what I was going to do is I was going to kind of... Okay, so the first way this concept is going to work is with our games of all time.
Yeah.
We kind of rank multiples on the same level. So if we have 3 games that have 25 plays, we have them all in know the 7th most played.
Yeah.
Because there's only 1, 2, 3, right? Whereas because obviously in a year and the way it works and numbers are less, we have far more. So if we did the same thing, we would have to speak about 50 games, right?
Okay.
So what I've done is literally the top 10 most played. So it might be 15, 15, 15, and that'll be 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. And how I've distinguished those is by weight and complexity, because obviously it makes sense that if they're more complex and they take more time to play, they should really be the most played game. Mm-hmm. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So going to the honourable mentions, there was one that was number 10, and I was very proud it was number 10.
Yeah.
And I was going to talk about that, and then kind of honourable mentions were going to be all the others that had the same amount of plays, which is 8 plays. And then one game we played over Christmas shot up and knocked it out.
Wow.
So I'm very sad, but I still want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And our number 11 honourable mention is John Company, 2nd edition.
Oh, that's
with
a shame.
8 plays. And this was my number 2 game of the year. Could have been my number 1 easily. It was your...
I think it was number 4.
Yeah. And we played it very recently after we did that list. We had 2 games back to back, and we had such a great time with some friends who hadn't played it before. It's a brilliant game, but it's long, it's complex, it's intricate.
Yeah. And
I just think it's a real achievement to have that played 8 times. Yeah. And we only started playing it halfway through the year. Mm-hmm. So just wanted to give that an honourable mention. If you want more, you can check out our top 10 games where we talk about it. Yeah. And we'll also hopefully do a review soon. I've started writing it. Just have to get a few others out. But let's go into the actual list, and we'll start with number 10. Number 10, with 9 plays in the calendar year, is your new favourite game.
Spots.
And one of our most recent acquisitions, Spots.
Yay! So proud of Spots.
So why don't you just give a quick little one sentence summary?
I'll try and do it in one sentence, but it's just such a great game. I don't know if I can. So it's a little small box kind of dice chucking game where you are trying to assign dice values onto pre-printed spots on different dog cards. So it's very cute. But there's different ways that you can roll the dice by doing tricks, and there's 6 tricks in the middle, and you pick one, and then it's not available again for other players to pick until every other trick has been played. But that will allow you to do something like throw 4 dice and assign the ones that fit your dogs. But the little twist is you have a yard, and any dice that can't be assigned to your dogs go in your yard. And if the dice values go more than 7, then you go bust, and you'll lose all of your progress on your uncompleted dogs, basically. So a little bit of a dice chucking, push your luck, gambling type of game.
So this is, I think, really impressive because this was one of my presents to you for your birthday.
Yes.
And it came late. So it actually we've only had it a month, basically, in 2023. I think got it 1st, 2nd of December.
Yeah.
And so to get onto the list in that time obviously shows how much you liked it and how easy it is to get to the table, because it's a quick playing game, but it's not that quick necessarily.
No.
So there's also some playtime there, and obviously it's a lot of fun. It's I think the real crux of the game is that when you fill the dog, you can either, as your turn, kind of complete them and bank them, as many as you have. But if every dog in front of you is complete, so if you have 1 dog or 3 dogs that you haven't completed yet, if you fill them with dice, then it automatically flips all of them. So you don't have to wait a turn. Obviously, it's a race to get to 6. I think that little mechanism and where the push your luck comes in, because you want to complete them on your turn.
And it's just really fun, isn't it? Because you can see everyone else. So you know if they maybe have only 1 dog to complete, or you can see maybe you are trying to go for the kind of fast method of completing them. But then there's some tricks which will kind of screw other players over. So I can make you go bust sometimes. So it's just really, it's very cute, but can be interactive and a bit savage. It depends what the tricks are, right? But it's just a lot of fun when you play with different people, because you're like, ooh, watching them roll their dice.
It's fun to watch other people roll their dice.
Exactly. You know what they need, and you're like, oh, is he going to get it? No. Just, a lot of fun.
Okay, so let's go to number 9. Here, again, with 9 plays, we have Star Wars, the deck building game.
Wow.
And this is a surprise.
Yeah.
And this is one I think we got around summer, early summer, like May, June maybe, in fact. And we were surprised by how much we enjoy it, playing it, because we're not like uber wild on deck building. It's fine. We're not uber wild on Star Wars. It's fine.
Yeah.
But we just really enjoyed the mechanisms. We just found it easy to get to the table. It's quick to play. It's fun to combo things. And I think there are some really clever mechanisms. The fact that you can destroy your opponent's cards in the marketplace for a little bonus. The fact that some cards are neutral.
Yeah.
The different bases. So you always have like a kind of home base, and they give you different powers. And you get to pick which one you have, so you can make it a little bit asymmetric each time. But yeah, I think we obviously both enjoyed it and played it quite a lot.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about it over the Christmas period and wanted to play it actually.
Yeah,
then it kind of just slipped my
well.
mind a little bit. But now you mention it again, I would like to crack it back out, because, like you say, maybe we got it in around May, June.
Yeah.
And I think we must have played it quite a lot when we first got it, and then we haven't really gone back to it.
I think it's one of these games that it has an unfortunate position, like in the cupboard, where it's not easily seen. And then out of sight, out of mind. Because talking about it now, one of my friends he came over and stayed for a couple of days, and he's a pretty big Star Wars fan. And we played loads of games, and it never even crossed my mind to introduce it to him.
Yeah.
And I know when we got it, he would have been one of the first people I introduced it to, if that makes sense. Like if I'd been back in England and seen him.
Let's put it on our to play.
Yeah, because I did want to play it again. But so really enjoyable, like plays in an hour or less, 2-player, kind of just deck building, Empire versus Rebels, really good fun.
Yeah.
So let's move to number 8. Number 8 is also a late entry to the year. Ooh. So it's impressive, also with 9 plays. But there is a reason that it's got so many plays.
Okay.
And it's the game we're actually going to be playing tomorrow.
Ticket to Ride Legacy.
Yes, so we're very kindly sent this as a review copy by Asmodee Nordics. And we haven't put out a review yet because we're waiting to finish the campaign. And we were actually supposed to finish it before Christmas, but one of our members was sick of the group, so we postponed it. So we're finishing off tomorrow, we hope. We've got 3 games left. We've set aside a whole day.
Yeah.
So Ticket to Ride Legacy, I think we've both been really impressed and
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. I think I mildly enjoy Ticket to Ride when we're getting into board gaming. Like, I enjoyed it. I thought it was like okay. It was a good gateway game. I was never wild about it, but I've really enjoyed Legacy far more than I thought. We're obviously going to discuss it in detail in our review.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in that, please subscribe and you'll see it coming probably this month if we do finish it tomorrow. But I think it's really fun in the mechanisms it adds, how it changes things up. And probably our biggest criticism, though, is that it expands exponentially. So the games get longer and longer, and now they're almost a bit too long. And that's probably soured it a bit. And we talked about this a little bit in our top 10, because I think we both had it as an honourable mention, or at least I did.
Yeah, I think I did put it in there.
It's because I talked about it, so you left it out of yours.
Oh yeah, that's it, because I had too many honourable mentions. I was like, you've mentioned it, it's fine. But yeah, I didn't want to put it in a top 10 because we haven't finished it, and obviously I don't think we can really comment on a Legacy game unless you've finished it, because maybe it goes completely downhill in those like final few games.
Yeah.
But no, definitely really enjoyed it. It's bringing a lot of fun things every game when you unlock new things. I obviously can't say too much because I don't want to spoil it, but I've had a lot of fun discovering what each new kind of thing is.
Yeah.
And I think they're all, maybe some of them are a little bit gimmicky or like less, what do I want to say? It's more like novel and fun than tying into the game.
Yeah. That's true.
And maybe a little bit, I don't want to say like unbalanced maybe, because if you're like the first to get to something, then maybe you get like a big bonus or hard to discuss without actually giving specifics away. But yeah, overall had a lot of fun with it, haven't we?
Yeah.
And look forward to seeing the final few games.
Yeah, it's been a great experience, and I can tell you that fun's a key word there. I had a lot more fun playing Ticket to Ride than I ever thought I would. Yeah. And we've had like a full 5-player group for it the whole way through. And it's just like the end of the first game, and this is something we won't spoil even in our review, because I think it's the best surprise. It makes you open a box, and the first thing you open at the end of the first one, you have to do the root cards.
I can't remember what it is now.
No, well, we'll have to discuss this off camera. But it's with a microphone. It's the best, most fun surprise, and you get to do it the whole campaign. So yeah, there's a lot of fun there. But yeah, that was number 8. With number 7, we move up to 11 plays, nothing with 10 plays. And this was the game that knocked John Company out. So it was the game we played over Christmas, So Clover. We got a couple of plays in, and it went from honourable mention to number 7.
Yeah. Well, makes sense, because it is the game that we get out at most family gatherings now. So it definitely makes sense that it jumped up towards the end of the year. So we talked about it, I feel like, a fair amount on our channel now, but just in case somebody doesn't know what So Clover is, it's just like a little party weight word game, maybe in the same sort of genre to like Decrypto and Codenames. And basically you have a plastic clover with 4 leaves on it, where you put some word cards in, and there's 2 words per clover leaf, and you have to write a word that kind of links those 2 words together, because what you're going to do is take those cards out, reveal it to actually your teammates, because it's a cooperative game, and they have to put the cards back in the right order based on the clue that you gave and the words on the cards. Yeah,
so it's just basically, our families have always been big fan of these word games like Codenames and Decrypto, and this was one we picked up Christmas before last. And so it's 2023, it's kind of been our word game that we've always brought out with the families, and that's why it's got played so much. It's just a game that's really nice to get out with the family. It's just that right kind of vibe, right kind of length. You play a couple of games at a time. Yeah. So that's why it's up here. So Clover, I mean, we've talked about it in our like top 10 games of the year. We talked about it in our video last week, so I think we'll leave it there. Yeah. But game we really enjoy if you like these word games.
I actually thought it would be more plays than that.
Yeah, but I think actually a lot of the plays were, because we got it at the start of like Christmas period last 2022. So I think we had a lot of plays from like December 2022. And I think we were playing with my family before New Year's, but not after. And then it wasn't really like till your birthday when your parents were around that we've played it.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay, let's go on to number 6. Number 6 was a surprise to me because it's a game that I don't know, if I look back, it doesn't feel like we really experienced it enough because there's a lot more to dive into in this game. And this has 11 plays, and it is Heat. The darling racing game of the kind of last year and a half. We got into it a little bit late, but sometime this year, I think early in the year. And we've shown it to a few different groups of friends. We played it with my family, which was the last time we played it in August or so, September when they were over. And they really got on with it. I think we had like 3 games back to back.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for me it's just surprising because we're not wild on it, but it's something that's nice to play when you want something a bit lighter, something with friends. We haven't really explored the modules too much, except for the weather a little bit.
No, I really enjoy Heat. And I think when we played it with your family, they picked it up pretty quickly as well. It's something quite easy to get to the table. There's not too much setup involved. It's just a board, the cards, a hand of cards as well. It was 11 plays, you said, right? Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of a lot. That feels like a lot.
I'm really surprised because we haven't gone into the modules very much at all.
No.
I keep meaning to, and just because the problem is when you introduce it to someone, you don't want to throw in like 3 modules. You want to teach them the base rules. So we keep playing that basic game over and over, which is fun.
True. We keep playing it with like different people as well. Different friends, family. So it's something that we've been getting out, I guess, semi-regularly. And not something that we've got out and played a lot and explored like we do with some games where we're just, play over like the course of a week or two. This is something that's coming out every now and again, but like consistently almost. But 11 plays. I'm always surprised sometimes by the number of plays of things.
This is surprising to me.
Yeah, but that's why we keep the records.
Yes. Okay, so let's go to number 5. Here, with 11 plays again, but that slight bit heavier, is Undaunted North Africa.
11 plays of that?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was one of the big surprises in our top 10 play games of all time as of November 23, that Undaunted had gone from not on the list to like second or something with 44 plays or something like that. I can't remember the exact stats, but it was because this was for us a year of Undaunted. I think we'd only played a handful of games of Normandy last year, and then we played Stalingrad and we had a great time with it. We then decided to do the buyer's guide for Undaunted, which we have out if you want to learn all about them. And then we played so much, so total Undaunted, a crazy amount. But North Africa, 5th place, 11 plays.
Yeah, I'm again quite surprised by that. Similar to Heat, it just doesn't feel like 11. But at the same time, I guess the thing is with those games, they can end quite quickly.
Yes.
It just really depends how long like the battle is going on. So maybe that contributes to upping it, because sometimes, especially North Africa, because I wasn't very good at that. That was my least favourite of all of the Undaunted games that we've played, personally. I think you like it a lot more than me.
I like it a lot more than you.
But I wasn't very good at it. So some of the games were ending maybe quicker than when we've played Undaunted from the other games in the series. So then you're just like, okay, rack them up, do it again, kind of thing. Yeah. So maybe it was a lot of games at 11, but sessions wise, maybe we didn't have that many sessions. Yeah,
and I think also what added to that, it might have been, I think it was North Africa. I tried with the solo mode for we did the buyer's guide just to try it out and see what it was like, and I think I did like the basic mission on that, and obviously that only takes like 20-30 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
So some of those plays might have been like playing around with that as well. But we're obviously huge fans of Undaunted. I
Yes.
think we both had it in our top 10 games of all times, like the system. So it's not surprising to me, this being the kind of last year being the year of Undaunted, with how much we played the whole series.
Definitely.
But if you don't know it, it's a World War II based deck builder game. I think, as we said, kind of when we've originally talked about it, you saw the box, you were like, what's this? And it's become one of our favorite games.
I do judge board games by their covers. I'm ashamed to say, but I do.
Yeah, it's such a great system, deck building, the kind of tense decisions every round of which card to discard. Just great fun.
Yeah.
So let's move into the final four. Number 4, with 12 plays, is Wild Duo.
Okay. Wow.
And I think, so a lot of you probably don't know what the hell Wild Duo is.
Yeah.
And this was a prototype we were sent and we did a video on. And it's by the same people who made the same publisher that did Zoo Tycoon, the board game, which we were big fans of. And it's kind of it's like a box of abstract games, and in that box there's 5 different abstract games that play in 5 or 10 minutes. And obviously, to kind of play it properly so we could talk about it, we had to play each game a number of times, which wasn't a lot of time overall, but we played each game a number of times. And obviously that adds up to 12 plays. So this one's like not that much of a surprise if you think about it. Maybe not that interesting, but we did really enjoy playing.
Yeah.
We enjoyed some games much more than others. And I think because it's like 5 different games, it's better if you want to know more to watch our preview video on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess each game then we only played like 2 or 3 times then. But that's all you kind of need to play, because they're very simple.
Yeah.
Abstract, like learn the rules in 30 seconds to a minute and then off you go, basically.
Yeah.
But no, do really enjoy it, and it's a really nice one. We've taken it to the pub before.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Although the box is kind of big, so it's not the easiest
it has
for
all
traveling.
Of them, but
yeah, but it's just, typically a board, some little tokens, and that's it. So quite nice to take outside of the house as well.
Yeah, I think also it can be great in a pinch if you have 20 minutes to kill. Like it takes 30 seconds to set up, 10 minutes to play. You pack it away. You're done basically. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we did really enjoy it, and it was kind of our first foray into abstract games. But yeah, that was Wild Duo's number 4.
Yeah,
there's not so much to say about that really. Just little abstract games. Number 3, also 12 plays, bit heavier.
Okay.
And another Undaunted entry.
Ooh.
And this is funny because it was our first game of the year. And that is Undaunted Stalingrad.
Yeah.
So this, I think we had the first game 2-3 just before. And then like New Year's.
Yeah.
And then we played most of it over like a week, the first week of January.
Yeah.
Because it's a campaign version of Undaunted, depending who wins and who loses and what decisions you make. The map changes, the game state changes, what you have changes, your soldiers change.
The narrative.
And we loved it. It was one of, if not the most addictive board gaming experience we had.
Yeah. We couldn't put it down.
We both had Undaunted Stalingrad in our top 10 as well.
Yeah, definitely. Just one of those things where you put it down, you're like, let's have a break. Like, no, let's just go again.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think we've talked about it before, but there was one time where it was all getting a little bit tense, a little bit stressful, because it is, a tense, stressful game.
Yeah, competitive.
Very competitive. Can feel rubbish when you're on the kind of losing end. Mostly me. Although I think one time, maybe...
I did flip out.
Yeah, exactly. And said, all right, this is getting a bit too much. Let's put it away. Let's all calm down.
Yeah.
And go to bed. Next day, should we get Undaunted back out? Yeah, go on then.
Yeah.
It wasn't even 12 hours.
Yeah, so this one, not a surprise to me because it was a campaign game. We played it all, like you said, like so close together. But it's maybe more surprising that not a lot surpassed it this year since it's number 3.
That's true.
But it definitely deserves to be there. And I know if we got it out this year, it would probably be in the top 10 list again because we'd play through all of it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, one problem with campaign games is often that is the struggle to keep playing. But because it's a 2-player campaign game,
much easier.
Don't have to depend on anyone else. You just need your partner who you're playing with. And it's just so easy to get to the table and so addictive.
Yeah.
All right, final 2. Number 2. With
excited.
13 plays and another late entry, you could say, to the year, but unsurprising given how it works, and that is Perspectives.
Okay.
So Perspectives is probably not that well-known game. We did a review of it very recently, so if you want an in-depth kind of look, you can check that out. It's essentially, and we were provided a review copy by Asmodee Nordics. So with Perspectives, it's kind of like a cooperative detective style game, but it's all visual. So we can't show any B-roll or anything because it will literally anything you see of the game, including like the box with the lid off, will like ruin it. Because the way it works is you can play with, I think, 2 to 6 players, and you basically deal out these cards, and the cards have images on them. And it could be someone's emails, it could be a screenshot of a phone, it could be a weather report or a document, like a coroner's report. And you deal them out, and then everyone only has a piece of the puzzle, and you have to describe what you have on your card while trying to answer questions the whole group has. You know, what time did this crime take place? Who did it? Where is the jewel now, or whatever, right? And you have to bounce off of each other by using what you have, because something might be meaningless to you, but extremely important to someone else, but obviously they can't see it.
Yeah.
And it was a really great experience. We absolutely loved it. I thought it was so well designed, and the answers were always logical. You're able to work toward them. I was never like, oh, how was I supposed to know that? That doesn't make any sense. And it's got also a concise package, because there's basically 3 cases with kind of 4 gaming sessions in each case. And then you can use the box as a tutorial, which is where the 13th play came from. So yeah, Perspectives.
Yeah, really great time with that. Very, I want to say novel, because obviously there are kind of other kind of detective games out there, but I just think the way that it was done was very, I would like to say, slick and cool.
Yes.
Like just in terms of like the artwork and how it works, the whole box thing, like you said, everything that we opened, I was excited to see. It was surprising and just, I think, just a cool, fun experience. It does rely on you being able to describe what you have in front of you without showing the other players. I don't know, maybe some people wouldn't like that, because you do have to be descriptive, explain, I guess infer as well, because you've only got, maybe have like different perspectives of the scene in front of you to your opponents, and you have to kind of, from the descriptions they're giving you, infer that that's related to that and that's related to that, and be able to link things up. So maybe some people wouldn't like that, but no, we really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we just had such a great time playing it. It was honestly really enjoyable. And if you're someone who likes these detective style games, these, you know, Chronicles of Crime, like things like that, then I cannot recommend this enough.
Yeah, I guess our only small criticism is that you can play it quite quickly.
Yeah.
Right? Like we played it over the span of, I don't know, not very long, right?
Yeah.
But I suppose maybe that's just because we needed to review it. You could take it a little bit more slow if you didn't need to do that. But
I think we also wanted to, though. There was no real time pressure. I think as well, I made the point in the review that that's one negative for sure, that it's done and then you can't replay it. But I also think that it's better to have a very finely crafted experience like it is than for it to go on too long and then to run out of ideas, basically.
Yeah, it's a nice game that you can just pass to like friends and family like we did, right? So we had a nice time with it and then we passed it to our friends, and that's a nice thing to do, to be able to share the love.
Yes, and get it out so we have some more room.
For more things.
So we'll go to the big number one. All right, the number one, the most played game of 2023.
Oh my God.
And before I reveal, do you have any guesses you might want to hazard? Or are you completely blind?
Yeah, I actually don't know. I was thinking about this when we were on number 2, thinking, could I guess number 1? I don't think I can. No, go for it.
Okay.
Reveal it.
So, also with 13 plays, but just that little bit more complex, not by much, than Perspectives. It is Ra by Rainer Knizia.
Yeah, I probably should have guessed that. Yeah, we played that.
So
we did play that a lot.
We got the Kickstarter from 25th Century Games, the reprint, and it was our first time experiencing Ra this year, and we just played it a lot.
Yeah, we showed it to all sorts of groups of people as well. It's probably the game, if we tracked this, how many different people have we showed it to? That would probably be the winner. Yeah,
and I think everyone's really loved it. So we played it 2-player a bunch of times when we first got it, and then I think we played it with your mum maybe, or my family as well. I can't remember. There's some families involved, and then we took it to the pub with some friends, and they really enjoyed it. And then I think the last time I remember playing it was I introduced it to my best friend was over with his girlfriend, and we just kind of introduced it to them because it's a lighter, more, like kind of interactive game. And it was one of those things where they went in, they're like, looks complicated, not sure. And then by the end of that weekend, we had like metas going and they were winning and we were winning, and it was back and forth and very competitive. And it was just it made for a really fun weekend. It was like part of that weekend as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So I have good memories of it.
Yeah, totally. And obviously we have the, like you said, like the deluxe version, right?
Yeah.
And that for me does add to the experience because all of the components are very like chunky, wooden. It feels almost, I don't want to say rustic, but it feels like an old school board game because of how the components are crafted. They're all very like quality and like very beautiful as well. It just feels like almost a little timeless piece of art. Like the bag that all of the tiles are in is like velvet, I think, right? If I'm remembering correctly, it's like a nice cloth bag. So it just feels like you're playing like an ancient game almost, to me at least. But it just adds to the experience for me. Yeah. So no, big Ra fan.
So first time we played it this year and we loved it. And if you don't know too much about it, it's just a kind of very classic auction game, basically, but with the kind of twist where the amount you can bid is set, but when you win a bid, you have to swap out with a kind of bidding token in the middle. So it could be that you go from having the highest one to the lowest one to get those things in the middle, and you're trying to make sets. It's basically set collection tied to auction, and it's great. So that was also, I would say, a surprise for me. It doesn't feel like we played it that much. It feels like we got out a lot of times, but not that it had that many play counts. Yeah. But I'm also happy with it because I'm glad it was worth springing for the upgraded version. Yes. Because that was a last minute decision. I originally backed the normal version, I think, and then buckled when I was in the pledge manager.
I'm happy you did that.
I think it made, like you say, the game better. So that was our top 10 most played of 2023. We really hope you enjoyed listening. I think it was really fun for us to talk about it. I think the games are actually really interesting, and we were surprised by some of them. I know you were surprised by all of them.
Was I?
So if you found this enjoyable, please subscribe. If you have any questions about any of the games or want to share your own lists, then please comment.
Yes.
And most importantly, thank you for watching, and we'll be back in the future with Ticket to Ride Legacy review for sure. Hopefully